easy question, sorry, 3 points. All right? If you have the answer, you got the 3 points. This harder question on the other side says, the Greeks invented a form of government which we still use today. What is it called? That is a history question, but also relates to political science. I think all our politicians, particularly our senators, should probably know this question, right? Now, and let me just randomly pick another one, say, whether there's another question here. The easy one first. Oh, Nazis first tried to seize power in the 1923 beer hall putsch. In which German city? Oh, you got to know German, the city, which German city? I think I know, but you probably know too. It's such a famous thing, but that's why it's considered 3 points, right? Nazis first tried to seize power in the 1923 beer hall putsch in which German city? Okay. The harder question, what are 3 fundamental kinds of archaeological evidence? Oh, that is sort of a little bit beyond history, but it's in this history question. So this is type of question, right? Let me see whether, pick another one. Another question relates to the Greeks. The Greeks had a lot of gods. Who did they believe was the king of the gods? Okay, that's an easy question, 3 points. And the hard one, who wrote the Star-Spangled Banner? That's a good question, 7 points. And if you know the answer, you get 3 points. All right, now, these are just cards in the history, all right? And I will just leave that here. And let me see, we'll do the science next, okay? Just curious what level of science is involved in this, okay? All right, got this open. And now I got a little hang of it, how to open these plastic wrappers. All right, science. I'll just take the top one, okay? Easy one. When we breathe air, it goes into these. We have 2 of them. What are they? When we breathe air, it goes into these. We have 2 of them. What are they? Well, it's 3 points. A little bit tricky. Do they mean internal or external or in transit? Whatever, okay? The second question is on the harder side. This is 7 points. What is a type of a polluted precipitation that causes erosion and corrosion? What sort of precipitation? Causes erosion and corrosion. That's 7 points question. All right, let me go to the middle bit and see what it is, okay? Easy question. What is a cloud that forms just above the surface of the earth called? Cloud just forms above the surface of the earth called? Some kind of sphere, right? All right, that's an easy question, 3 points. If you don't know, look it up. There's always, Wikipedia or Wikipedia or encyclopedia or whatever. The 7 points question. What is a type of precipitation consisting of transparent pellets of ice 5 millimeter or less. What is a type of precipitation consisting of transparent pellets of ice? Okay, 5 millimeter or less. That's a 7 points question. Okay, so far seems to be they are more related to earth science. Okay, let me see whether there's any other science. Let's see. Here. What does the word dinosaur mean? That seemed to be, that's considered a hard question. 7 points. What does the word dinosaur mean? I guess because the 7 points probably imply that you can't just say, well, dinosaur is, a prehistorical animal or something. It's not that simple. You probably have to go into a little more detail. Like my kids used to know every name of a dinosaur and knows what type they are and so on. Okay? On the other side, the easy question, true or false? Most sharks do not chew their food, but gulp it down whole in large pieces. Is that true or false? Okay? Hey, just sampling these few, I think it's very, very interesting. It looks like this board game could be very interesting, and you can start from here and with these pieces and dice and so forth. All right. Now we covered this science. Let me open the next one, which is the spelling. Okay, which very germane to our game show, word game show. Oh wow, the spelling is well packed. Ooh, gosh. Can't not open. Oh. Now, next time I know I should save a little bit of nails. Okay? I mean, I can't afford a manicure like Dave Letterman, okay? But as a wordman, I do need to have sharp nails to open these plastic packages. All right. Here we go. Spelling. What does that mean? Okay? Oh, simply contain words. All right? 3 points. I guess they would ask you how to spell the word accomplish. Okay? If you know how to spell that word, you get 3 points. Now, this game, this cards, there are 2 ways that people pick the cards when you throw dice and so forth. I think I didn't go through all the detailed rules, but it's if you land on a certain color, certain place, you would pick a card and you would do the answer. And certain other color and other places, other players will pick up a card and ask you the question and so on. Okay? So there's different varieties involved so that the playing is interactive, which is good. Every game should be designed with interactivity so there's no dull moment, okay, that is you're waiting or something, okay? So this whole deck is for spelling. For example, here another one, a hard one, 7 points. Yeah. How do you spell correspondence? Okay, it's a very long word. And next one, extraordinary. Okay, so suddenly this deck of cards is probably at least a couple of hundred words, maybe even more, for vocabulary spelling. Now, this all mixed up in here, and when you play this, and you will be answering questions related to science and history and spelling, okay? So I think it's a very interesting game, and it's probably no wonder why it won a lot of awards. Let me read this award winning. I think this is true for all the games to be sort of liked by people. Usually they do win awards, all right? This is There's a nearly endless list of games. One nice one is Wiselec by Gridley Games. This is this statement made by Games for Educators. It's a magazine, I think. Now, by Board Game Geek Reviewer, it says, I absolutely love the way the game scales for different ages. It is especially cool how it can accommodate 2 different levels of play. Players or players at the same time. This I understand now. In other words, when you play in a family, you can set the point score differently for children, say, versus older children, or versus even adults, okay? Maybe 100 points for the children to win, whereas 500 points for, adults to win. And that way, perhaps the adults will lose. Huh? Now, there's another statement made by Dr. Toy, who is a game evaluator. 100 best children's products for 2008. You hit age group perfectly. You, of course, means the Wiselec. Okay? All right. Now, there's another statement by the National Parenting Center. Kids reach into the vaults of their brains. A big plus was the ability to ask easy or difficult questions so that the playing field can be leveled. They felt smarter than when they started. So there are lots of these statements made, and these awards logos indicating the game is well received. How that's the Wiselec. Okay. Now, I did spend a little more time for this game, Wiselec, but that doesn't mean, okay, I have any preference, anything. Okay, I am here simply introducing it, and I appreciate everybody's contribution, be it this game called Erudition. Okay, it's a sight word, reading game. I'm dying to open this one up and playing with someone, or have watch kids to play. Okay, this sight word edition is for ages 3 and up, and I definitely like to see this Belial being played by kids, and maybe we even invite them into our studio to do a demonstration how clever this pen can be used in writing and so forth. Okay, it's very intriguing, and certainly it's probably attractive to many children. Okay, now this green toy or construction game that's based on cardboard material, recycled papers, and so on. This is basically made of a recycled cardboard material. It's very good. I mean, there are many construction games, as you know, that are usually made of plastic. Okay, plastic certainly is more durable, but on the other hand, plastic is not as sort of a naturally degradable as cardboard, right? So those Totem cardboard construction games are a very good game. And this little warm-up thing is very cute with all this colorful chips that you can make worms out of it. That's very cute, and we certainly appreciate. And this box itself is very nicely done, and I personally don't have any idea because I don't do stitches, but I really interested to watch people play this board game. Maybe I should read a few sentences here and see how. Stitch-a-Polly is a new board game that lets Stitches share their love of needlework with their family and friends and have fun doing so. You will collect needlework techniques and become an expert stitcher by buying and trading different needlework stitches, basic, expert, embroidery, and the needlepoint. Then build your own needlework studios, convert them to shops, and run your own needlework business. Just make sure you don't pick your stitching is not centered game card, or you will have to go directly to pull out thread without passing start stitching and collecting $200. And remember to be careful because if you lose your needle, you will also lose a turn. Now, it sounds familiar. It's like a Monopoly type of a game, but it's definitely built on the needlework or stitch work vocabulary, okay? So if you like stitch and you are expert in this, and you probably really will enjoy this, right? Now, this little bugs, these Hexbugs, they are definitely toys that many young kids will love, okay? And it's just amazing. Little things can be made and so intriguing, so sort of clever, okay? I mean, we do have some fundamental games, as you know, the wood blocks and so on and so forth. They are simple and everlasting. They are educational and so on. And these little high-tech stuff, okay, it's just simply amazing that one could make such sophisticated electronics, mechanics, okay, all in together in a little game, a little toy, and selling probably for, I don't know, a few dollars, okay? I don't know how, since we are not commercial endorsing any of this, but certainly we welcome all the new game inventors, toy makers to contribute their game and toy to our game show, okay? So, want to repeat again. Next week is our spring tournament. It's a joint tournament, Scramble and Scrabble all together, okay? It will be run from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. in the Somers Library at Reese Park. In case you don't know where Reese Park is the town park, and has tennis courts and basket courts, baseball field, and so on and so forth. And it's a nice park and with a very nice library. It's situated on Route 139. And Route 139 is a very short section and intersects Route 100 on the south end and intersects with, I think, 202 on the north end. Okay, it's a very short section, road. So if you have GPS, you have no problem. If you don't have GPS, and just remember the two major road, 202 and Route 100, you will find it. Okay? Now, please go to our website, www.scramble.us, to register, and as early as you can, since we have to match up these players. And you can either play Scrabble, which is it's called school Scrabble, National School Scrabble. That means it has certain rules. The rules are simple. It's a team game, 2 people per team playing against another team, and it's 22 minutes time is controlled by a clock, and when you play, your clock runs, and when your opponent play, his clock runs. So, in essence, that the game should be roughly 44 minutes plus minus, cannot be minus, plus few minutes, okay? Because in between, you may pause a little bit because sometimes you could have a challenge, or you can have some interruptions. But otherwise, it's 44 minutes per game. And when you finish, then you tally up the score and see who wins. Now, in order to win a prize, and the tournament requires minimum 3 games competition in the and the top winners will be winning a prize. And we will probably present these prizes in our game show, okay? And so you can come to our studio, receive the prize. In fact, sometimes we have more prizes than the initial, so say, winners, because we run tournaments a year round, and you get to choose the prize, okay? And that's a nice thing. When you are top winner, you get to choose first, therefore you can choose the things you really like, okay? And the reason I introduce these contributions is to give you advanced sort of a notice what they are, and perhaps you can then judge whether, hey, this one I like, that one I like, so you can then aim your goal, right? As like Rachel's challenge, okay? You should write down your goal, okay? And if you say, my goal is to win the National Scrabble Tournament, next year, and then you better start sort of practicing your games and learn how to build up your vocabulary and spelling and so forth, and how do you count the numbers quickly so that you don't waste time in scoring up the scores. And as I, being a coach to the Scrabble players, and I've been to the National Scrabble Tournament, I notice sometimes all these skills have to be sort of honed together in order to become a champion winner. Because if you count the scores very slowly, it will be costing your time on that 22 minutes clock. And therefore, you will have a disadvantage. Now, if you count fast in your head and you lay down your word and you also tell the opponent, here's the score, and then you hit the clock, let the opponent's clock running, and it will be to your advantage. So this type of skills can only come when you really play these games, and they do help you to develop your sort of a focus and your attention span in this game, so that you will be able to concentrate, not making mistakes, and stay cool, and use your brain solely towards the game playing. Okay, so the National Scrabble Tournament actually this year is going to be on April 24th in Providence, Rhode Island, as last year. I think in Somers there are several teams already registered to go, again accepted, to play in the National Scrabble Tournament on April 24th. This year, they have changed a little bit. The start game on Friday rather than Saturday and Sunday. It's a Friday and a Saturday. Therefore, the kids who signed up required to go to the school and ask for a permission, sort of to be absent from the school for a day. Okay, and I think it is a good activity, and I think school probably will have no problem granting an absence. Okay, so remember, you need to do that, and if you already signed up. And we certainly, this warm-up tournament on April 8th is going to help people into this National Scrabble Tournament, right? So I think enough said about our tournament, and today we don't have any game playing, and because I intended to introduce some of these prizes, and I would like to talk about a little bit about this really inspiring talk by this Rachel's challenge, and I hope you have heard this talk. If you didn't, hopefully that what I told you a little bit today is beneficial to you. Okay, so with that, I am going to have to close this session and wind down the show today. Okay? All right. Now, in the coming months, because the tournament and because the recess, we will have only a couple of shows. We have on April 17 a special show that we invited a guest, a game inventor, flying in from California to appear on our show. Okay? So April 17, I welcome kids, particularly kids interested to have math development, mathematics, that is, to come to the show because she is a math teacher and she has invented a good game. Okay? Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.